Hey there guys, and I'm back with another YouTube video, and in this video we're going to be showing you a back-to-back kill representation of the bug on Wotan. Now I will be making a disclaimer on the fact that this was in fact pre-patch Amara, the spiritual driver. But what I will say in this video specifically is, even though they nerfed Mindful, I still kill him faster than I did when the spiritual driver was, better, I guess you can say. Well, not really the spiritual driver, the mindfulness. I'm not too certain on why that's the case. It's just an occurrence, I guess. But I've, in this video, obviously in the background, you'll see it bugs out twice, and then everybody just leaves. We try to kill, I obviously tried to kill myself, and then when I did, they were like, fuck it, we give up, and then they just left. But, and this, for some reason, it's like, I had already had, when Wotan first came out, I already had a build in mind to, completely slaughter him, right? I didn't want to try it because, going through the builds and making mistakes when you go to those skill trees, it's very time consuming, I guess you could say, right? And then I had to refine the way I played as well. I had to start learning how to play faster. I started getting into the Elementalist. I started even getting into the Nimbus. I had a special Nimbus that was fucking amazing. Can't make it up. I can't. But I really didn't take any ideas from these YouTube videos, right? I ended up getting the spiritual driver out of quite literally a curiosity on what it was. My Nimbus was going beautiful. My Nimbus was really fucking fire. I was able to go down the blue tree without really having to dig into the green tree, which I really don't like doing. I quite literally just go to health regen and then go to Samsara, which is other health regen as well. So that's literally, those are the two, and then I digged straight down to the blue tree and got Wraith and the other one right next to it. But I was going so crazy during it, right? But from what I don't want to lose the name, Moxie. Yeah, Moxie. He's way smaller than glitching Queen and stuff. That's really not it's not really an issue though. He opened my eyes to what the spiritual driver could do, right? Obviously, keep in mind, I'm already tearing Wotan to pieces. I'm throwing him in, I'm compacting him and throwing him in the garbage. By this time, with my brainstormer, bro, people didn't understand how I was killing Wotan. Before the little recursion thing, where I was like, oh yeah, I have a recursion. I was using it against a few other, I had already known the ricochet, double ricochets and all that stuff, because I've been playing Borderlands 2. I did the same exact shit in Borderlands 2 with the Pimpernel, right? So I was aware that the ricochet on the recursion was so strong when it came to certain bosses, but I was also aware that it made my game pause, freeze, slow down. So I threw that shit straight into the fucking the vault. Like straight off the bat, I threw that shit in the vault. So when Moxie he pulls up with the spiritual driver, I'm like, well, I got one. Mine's not like his shotgun one, but I figured it was something new, you know. I have to have it, just like the rack pack. Like, even though I don't play flak, I have to have it. It's just a necessity, you know. Just like earlier yesterday, I went out and farmed all 10, well 9. I couldn't get that last one for the corrosive and radiation, but 9 variations and then another 4 variations of the Western gun, cause it's like so good. I use all these things as necessities. I go out and play this game, like I've said already, 16 plus hours. Like I've had days where like I don't get off the game in general, which isn't a good thing, obviously. And then there's other days where I got a lot of things to do and the game isn't really a priority. But I was watching his videos, you know, kind of seeing the vibe of where the driver, like what the driver really does. Because although I was aware that my projector would go fucking crazy with it before I even heard one word out of his mouth, because I already was speculating like, oh, if I do damage to myself, my projector will actually have of some use instead of me having to use my terrified grenade. So I tried it out, you know, easy stuff. I tried it out, and I was like, it's doing as well as my old build. So then I started, like, you know, working in the confines of trying to, you know, those 48 points really don't give you too much leeway. So I try to find as many different possible builds, right? And I'm like, this is not strong enough, you know? And I wasn't comfortable with me being only viable when I went against the boss. At the beginning, because like it's like, because I couldn't go down into the blue tree, I sacrificed so much damage. Like so much pure damage too. Like both Wraith and the one right next to it, I don't have none of like the spreadsheets or anything like next to me, so I'm not really sure what the other one's called. I'm pretty sure I could just go back in the game and find out what it is. But those two that are there, those are pure damage, and then after your action skill, you have more pure damage for an extensive amount of time. You know? So I had to sacrifice that, take that off, to be like a mowing down machine for Wotan. And it didn't seem like it was worth it, because I'm like, bro, with my brainstormer, I was like destroying them. When they split off, I was using the brainstormer to damage them at the same time and kill the better half. So I came into a few problems where it's like the better half, I can one-shot him with my recursion because of all the balls that he ends up splitting up into, right? But then I had a problem with the bottom half because of the epicenter that he shoots out of his exterior. So I'm like, what? Like me not being able to use my brainstormer method, which I was already doing, and it was doing so great against mobs and so great against Wotan. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, what can I really do to make the driver better in some sense? Because even though I was doing better against Wotan, I still had to work in some type of confines that were way different than me just blasting to death or ricocheting chains of lightning all day. So I pulled the recursion out of the safe, and I'm like, maybe what Moxie's saying is true. You know, like maybe the recursion works. So I started like, I already got the grenades going. I just didn't want to use them, obviously, but I had all the anointed grenades. I gather them together. I get my shock one. I was already trying to farm for a legendary shock one, which was the hardest shit ever. Ended up getting the shock one. Found a green shield that I always switched to before I went to Wotan, and used the recursion. Now the only problem that I came in this like predicament is what you've probably seen earlier, where I was missing with the recursion. I wasn't actually hitting my shots with the recursion. But that problem quickly shifted over once I got used to how the projectiles work. And the moral of all of that is, I kind of, it took me a while to kind of go crazy with the driver and such, but I ended up making my build and refining my build and polishing my build and wrapping up my build and putting a bow on my build and selling it to myself, that I ended up just breaking the game. And now, even though that there is a nerf on mindfulness, I was still able to refine my character even more because of the control now with the less speed. And now I can crash the game as early as the Valkyrie fight. So not only do I fuck up the game at Wotan, now when I play the game, my game turns off when I play against the Valkyries. I hope you guys don't have this problem. Please comment down below what you guys think. Please comment, like, subscribe, especially if you're new. See you on the next.